Let us for a few moments close our eyes and think of the Divine Spirit in our heart. Let us pray for the peace of the world. Shanti Shanti Hari Om Tat Sat. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya Sarvadharmasvarupine Sthapakaya cha dharmasya Sarvadharmasvarupine Avatar Varisthaya Ramakrishna Te Namah. Asato ma sadgamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Asato ma sadgamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Mrityorma mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions in the world. Let us pray to him to lead us from unreal to the real, to lead us from darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, from death to immortality. Let there be peace, be everywhere in the whole universe. Many people would be asking many times in so many ways, what is God? Where is God? Can we see? So many things they keep on asking. But then the answers also are many. One such answers for all these questions regarding God. Where is God? Where there is peace, there is God. So, where the peace is supremely manifested, there we feel the power of God. Where there is perfect silence, there is perfect peace. Silence and peace go together. No disturbance externally or internally. It is a state of complete stability. In that state of extreme calmness, the supreme power manifests in all glory. But then, why are we not seeing God if He is all pervading? The reason is very simple. We are in the dark. As long as our mind is clouded by various types of superstitions, as long as our mind is clouded by bad samskaras, as long as our mind is always filled up with innumerable, it is not possible to experience the state of perfect peacefulness. It is not easy to appreciate the value of silence. What is delusion? What is Maya? It is nothing but ignorance. Sometimes the darkness is so deep, if you bring a mild torch with a weak battery, even though it is emanating light, it's not sufficient to show the path, to remove, to dispel all darkness. It requires strong power of light, strong battery with powerful cells. High voltage battery is required to dispel the high intensity of darkness. If we begin to find out the intensity of darkness in us, probably we may be horrified. So, the Mahatmas come and they instruct us. These Mahatmas are the high voltage light. They show us the path by their personal, practical demonstration. They lead us literally to the goal of truth. So Sri Ramakrishna here is giving instructions, trying to give illumination to Vidyasagar, who was the personification of compassion and goodness. So Sri Ramakrishna came to see him. Once Sri Ramakrishna remarked, "Have you grown special horns? Why people respect you? Why? You are also like anybody, human being with 2 arms, 2 hands, 2 legs, etc. What speciality is there in you? People honor you." It is simply because you are more compassionate, you are more loving, you are more concerned. It's because of the special manifestation of the sattva, the element of goodness in you is so profound. People give respect. It is for the same reason I have come to see you. And now I have come with special purpose. Here is the right person who has all the faculties, who is well equipped with fine state of mind. If this person is properly led towards the goal of truth, it is splendid. So Sri Ramakrishna came to see him to bestow divine grace. Divine grace. By just seeing Sri Ramakrishna, the well-trained mind of Vidyasagar became blessed. His whole life was transformed. He could enjoy every bit of the grace given by Sri Ramakrishna in the course of dialogue. Nobody could defeat Sri Ramakrishna in wit. Though Vidyasagar tried to answer in so many intelligent ways, Sri Ramakrishna could answer him in much more brilliant way. Why? How? Because who is Sri Ramakrishna? He is the source of knowledge. He is God himself, coming in the form, human form, just to give inspiration to all of us. So, in this particularly, when he was talking to Vidyasagar, how many instructions he gave. He came and instructed, give all these points so that all people may be benefited. He can't go to each and every one. If he meets an important person and if he could talk to him, that would spread and all the people would be benefited. So here, Sri Ramakrishna tells, there is a path of knowledge, there is a path of love, and there is the path of the Jnana Mishra Bhakti, knowledge greased with love. All these paths lead to the same goal, the goal of truth. Again, Sri Ramakrishna tells, though there are so many paths, all paths are not for all. Mostly, many of the people can follow an easy path. All people cannot follow the difficult paths. Because, as Sri Ramakrishna himself points out, everyone is very conscious of his or her ego. I am Chidananda, I am Louis. So this kind of identification with my body-mind complex, this ego, is very difficult to get rid of. So as long as one is very attached to the ego, it is easier to follow the path of love, Sri Ramakrishna suggests. The only way to tame the ego so that we may not become egoistic, the only way is to sublimate this ego. How? If at all this ego should remain with us, let it remain as the servant of God. God is a master, I am the servant. Keep that ego like that. You are completely saved from all hardships in the life. Not only that, if you cherish that ideal and be well established in it, you will be taken fast in your path towards the goal. So jnana is the path of knowledge where the seeker follows the path of intellect, always trying to distinguish what is real and what is unreal and rejecting what is unreal without any hesitation. What is renunciation after all? What is the meaning of all these scriptures they all talk about? In different languages they speak, but they all mean the same thing. What is that? For example, in Bhakti Marga, it is said that we should divert all our attachment to God. Bhagavad Gita, it emphasizes the importance of renunciation. What all these words mean exactly? They mean we must completely detach ourselves from anything in this world. So detaching ourselves from the things in and around us is called renunciation. Whether some of us are monks, whether some of us are householders, that's different. Everyone will have to understand this, that if we have to develop in our spiritual practice, we must detach ourselves from all the things of the world. Be in the world in a detached way. That is the way of practicing renunciation. As I had told previously also, what is this bondage after all? It is because it is nothing but the attachment to the things, objects of the world. Any object, whatever it may be, bandhaya vishayasaktam, muktam nirvishayam smritam. Famous verse in Amrita Bindu Upanishad, which I had taken class for more than a year. What a beautiful statement. Bandhaya vishayasaktam. As long as the mind is attached to the things, you are bound. Even if God appears before you, you are not able to get yourself free from bondage because of this terrible attachment to the things. Muktam nirvishayam smritam. What is liberation? Nirvishayam smritam. Getting detached from all these things. How to detach oneself? It is only through the practice of meditation. Complete withdrawal of the mind from all outgoing tendencies. Fixing it, putting the mind at a particular point for sufficient length of time. That's called meditation. Meditation is a process of detachment from the things of the world. The more and more you detach, the more and more you are able to concentrate. The more you are able to concentrate, the more you are able to meditate. The more you are able to meditate, the more you are towards attaining samadhi. So to know that God is existent and He is all-pervading is ordinarily called knowledge. We are awakened to this fact. How this creation can go on without the divine power? Is it ever possible? How the whole nature is going according to law? There is another higher state than jnani, which Sri Ramakrishna calls as Vijnani. How does Vijnani see God? He also had experience of God, but his experience gives him more illumination than the experience of the ordinary jnani. What is that? The Vijnani experiences that Brahman is immovable. When the whole universe is with Brahman, how can it move? Where to move? To what place to move? Tell me. Achala. And this Brahman is beyond all actions. Beyond all actions. Kutastha. It is a substratum of everything. Actions sprout from the state of actionless. So Brahman is the ground for all the activities that we see in this creation. All these activities are taken care of by the interplay of the nature, by the interaction of the three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. They come, they clash each other and bring about tremendous activity in the whole creation by the permutation and combination of these three forces, sattva, rajas and tamas. But then these sattva, rajas, tamas by themselves they are not powerful. They are powerful because of the power of Brahman. The potatoes jump in the pancake. They jump in the pan. They are not jumping by themselves. The fire is below the oven. It is because of the fire the potatoes are jumping. But the child who doesn't see the fire below the pan, it thinks, oh, the potatoes are jumping by themselves. Just like that. This crying, this smiling, all mutations going on in this world are all nothing but the outcome of the Parabrahman, the power of Brahman in action through the universe. So all these sattva, rajas, tamas are in Brahman. At the same time, Brahman is unattached. He is not shaken by the interplay of these sattva, rajas, tamas. He is Mayadhipati. He is a lord of the Maya, lord of Prakriti, lord of the universe. That means he is a master of the universe. We should not forget these important points, which is very essential for us to understand. So the universe, mind, intelligence, love, renunciation, knowledge, all these are the manifestations of Parabrahman. Just as the serpent has got the poison in its mouth, but it is not affected by the poison, though poison is in the snake. In the same way, though Brahman has got all the powers in him, Brahman is beyond all this effect of the powers residing in him. And then Brahman appears as static and dynamic. All these manifestations that we see are only to impress upon us the supreme power of the God. We should conclude that whole this phenomena going on is because of the power of Brahman. Sri Ramakrishna gives the example of an aristocrat. He's got lot of wealth, power, position, property, so many things. Suppose for some reason he sells away all this property, etc. He doesn't have any money. Who cares for him? Who cares for him? In the same way, if God is not showing these powers through various manifestations, then who does care for God? Sri Ramakrishna explains this by giving the example of the aristocrat. Well, another important point Sri Ramakrishna tells here is that the object of learning is to find means of knowing God and realizing Him. That's it. There was a holy book. The person who was curious to know what is inside, he opened it. He saw every page contained the name of Rama. That is the essence of the scripture. In the same way, the essence of Gita is Tyagi. Repeat Gita 10 times. Tyagi, 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 Gita, 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 Gita. That means it always tells you, reminds you to meditate upon renunciation. Be more and more detached. Many people are asking, Swamiji, I am doing this possession, it's mine. All these articles belong to me. This property belongs to me. I am responsible for all these things, etc. These constitute ignorance. So, when we talk that way, my wealth, my family, my children, my house, etc., etc., if we talk that way, that means we are still in the darkness of ignorance. Though we always pray to lead us from darkness of ignorance, but we are not ready to give up, to go away from darkness. We want to be in the darkness. At the same time, we want to be freed from darkness. How is it? If you want to get away from the darkness, you must get out. You must walk on. That is, you must make some self-effort. How to get rid of darkness? You must take steps to do that. That's the point. So, Sri Ramakrishna has explained all these things. The only way to fight ignorance is to release the chain of counter thoughts. That is, you must develop the attitude that, O Lord, thou art the master. All these things belong to you. This home, this family, this children, friends, etc. All these things, everything is yours. We must feel sincerely that way. That is the attitude of knowledge. So far, I have read in the last class, I have given my comments over this. Now I shall read some passage, then I shall ask you to give your comments. This page 105, last but one para, from there I have to begin. One should constantly remember death. Nothing will survive death. We are born into this world to perform certain duties, like the people who come from the countryside to Calcutta on business. If a visitor goes to a rich man's garden, the superintendent says to him, "This is our garden, this is our lake," and so forth. But if the superintendent is dismissed from for some misdeed, he can't carry away even his mango wooden chest. He sends it secretly by the gatekeeper. God laughs on two occasions. He laughs when the physician says to the patient's mother, "Don't be afraid, mother, I shall certainly cure your boy." God laughs, saying to himself, "I am going to take his life, and this man says he will save it." The physician thinks he is the master, forgetting that God is the master. God laughs again when two brothers divide their land with a string, saying to each other, "This side is mine and that side is yours." He laughs and says to himself, "The whole universe belongs to me, but they say they own this portion or that portion." Can one know God through reasoning? Be his servant. Surrender yourself to him and then pray to him. To Vidyasagar, "Well, what's your attitude?" Vidyasagar said, "Someday I shall confide it to you, Master. God cannot be realized through mere scholarly reasoning." Intoxicated with divine love, the Master sang, "Who is there that can understand what Mother Kali is? Even the 6 darshanas are powerless to reveal her. It is she, the scriptures say, that is the inner self of the yogi who in self discovers all his joy. She that of her own sweet will inhabits every living thing. The macrocosm and microcosm rest in the mother's womb. Now do you see how vast it is? In the Mooladhara, the yogi meditates on her, and in the Sahasrara, who but Shiva has beheld her as she really is. Within the lotus wilderness, She sports beside her mate, the swan. That is Shiva, the Absolute. When man aspires to understand her, Ram Prasad must smile. To think of knowing her, he says, is quite as laughable as to imagine one can swim across the boundless sea. But while my mind has understood, alas, my heart has not. Though but a dwarf, it still would strive to make a captive of the moon. Continuing, the Master said, did you notice? The macrocosm and microcosm rest in the mother's womb. Now do you see how vast it is? Again the poet says, even the 6 darshanas are powerless to reveal her. She can't be realized by means of mere scholarship. One must have faith and love. Let me tell you how powerful faith is. A man was about to cross the sea from Ceylon to India. Vibhishana said to him, tie this thing in a corner of your wearing cloth and you will cross the sea safely. You will be able to walk on the water. But be sure not to examine it or you will sink. The man was walking easily on the water of the sea, such is the strength of faith. When, having gone part of the way, he thought, what is this wonderful thing Vibhishana has given me, that I can walk even on the water? He untied the knot and found only a leaf with the name of Rama written on it. Oh, just this, he thought, and instantly he sank. There is a popular saying that Hanuman jumped over the sea through his faith in Rama's name, but Rama himself had to build a bridge. If a man has faith in God, then he need not be afraid, though he may have committed sin, nay, the vilest sin. Then Sri Ramakrishna sang a song glorifying the power of faith. If only I can pass away repeating Durga's name, how canst thou then, O Blessed One, withhold from me deliverance, wretched though I may be? The Master continued, faith and devotion. One realizes God easily through devotion. He is grasped through ecstasy of love. With these words the Master sang again, how are you trying, O my mind, to know the nature of God? You are groping like a madman locked in a dark room. He is grasped through ecstatic love. How can you fathom him without it? Only through affirmation, never negation, can you know him. Neither through Veda, nor through Tantra, nor the 6 darshanas. It is in love's elixir only that he delights, O mind. He dwells in the body's inmost depths in everlasting joy. And for that love, the mighty yogis practice yoga from age to age. When love awakes, the Lord like a magnet draws to him the soul. He it is, says Ram Prasad, that I approach as mother. But must I give away the secret here in the marketplace? From the hints I have given, O mind, guess what that being is. While singing, the Master went into Samadhi. He was seated on the bench facing west, the palms of his hands joined together, his body erect and motionless. Everyone watched him expectantly. Vidyasagar too was speechless and could not take his eyes from the Master. After a time, Sri Ramakrishna showed signs of regaining the normal state. He drew a deep breath and said with a smile, the means of realizing God are ecstasy of love and devotion. That is, one must love God. He who is Brahman is addressed as the mother. He it is, says Ram Prasad, that I approach as mother, but must I give away the secret here in the marketplace? From the hints I have given, O mind, guess what that being is. Ram Prasad asks the mind only to guess the nature of God. He wishes it to understand that what is called Brahman in the Vedas is addressed by him as the mother. He who is attributeless also has attributes. He who is Brahman is also Shakti. When thought of as inactive, he is called Brahman. And when thought of as the creator, preserver and destroyer, he is called the primordial energy, Kali. We shall stop here. Now, if there are any questions or comments, you can make. Yours is the chance now. Of course, Brahman is speechless. He's beyond speech. No, the meaning here is detachment. We should understand very carefully. Detachment is to be practiced in the mind. If you, for example, the children, it's quite natural for the mother to feel for the children. But then, how to practice detachment? To see the children as the very embodiments of God. That is one way of practicing detachment. You do your duty. There it ends. A person who is attached always worries over the things, even though he is discharging duties, even though he is doing his best, he worries and worries. But a person who is detached doesn't worry, because he is doing what is to be done. That's all. By worrying, you cannot change the thing. See, one example I would like to give. Recently I received a letter from a devotee. They have got only one daughter, very brilliant. She passed through very successfully in the school. She went for university graduation in America, I am telling. So she joined a very reputed college. She stayed and she pursued her learning for nearly a year. But by then, certain other developments happened. Somehow she began to make friendship with people who may influence her and who may cause disharmony, by which she would not be able to concentrate more on her studies. And if she continued that way, probably she would become more and more leaning towards the effect of the friends rather than concentrating her mind on the studies. The parents became very much worried. That happened. So even though it was very painful, they brought her back from the college. It was very far away in Berkeley. So they called her back and they asked her to stay in the home, and whatever she wants to do, let her do here itself in the presence of them. She felt very much annoyed when it was done like this. She couldn't appreciate why the parents have done this way. Though she is not unintelligent, but because of her lack of understanding or appreciating the value of life, probably maybe the adolescent period, that's also reason. Many people, they go astray because of the adolescence, which is very crucial period. Everybody has to be very careful in that state, in that period. Once they take to good ways, then throughout their life they'll be wonderful. But if by chance they turn in some other direction, gone, irreparable, irrevocable. So after some time, after 2-3 months, father had gone to India and his daughter is telling, no, I would like to go back to Berkeley where I studied. I wanted to further my studies there. If you don't agree, I will leave the house and go. That's the ultimatum she gave. To whom? To her own parents, whose whole mind was on the well-being of their daughter. Now look here, how would you try to solve this problem? If you agree to what she wants to do, then there is always a danger, particularly in this modern society. It's very difficult to rely upon. But then she is not a child, she is telling vehemently. So finally they said, all right, with this experience probably she would be able to correct herself. They allowed her to go and she has gone. You see, they are doing their best, no doubt, but because they are closely in touch with their daughter, they can't bear that. That is the effect of attachment. Suppose a person is detached. You won't feel that way, though you do your best to to give whatever necessary for the propagation of the knowledge. There it ends. Suppose the person behaves in a different way, then he himself, he or she himself or herself has to learn through experience. You can't impose experience on another. You can only tell. If they don't understand, leave them, let them have experience. But pray for them. That's wonderful. Pray for them. They will come round. They will come round. I have seen I am giving now the example of detachment I am now giving. Now that is the example of attachment which I just now told you. How the detachment works. See, in Bangalore we have got a hostel for college boys where Swamis and Brahmacharis, they look after all the college boys. I was also one of the superintendents there. We have 100 college boys. One of them was studying master's degree. Brilliant boy. And he was the son of a poor school teacher, primary school teacher, you can imagine. And that primary school teacher, because he taught lesson to the son of a merchant, that merchant became very grateful because the merchant's son was idiot. This primary school teacher, he made him at least to learn something, at least to add and subtract some simple mathematics. He made him to at least sit in the shop and manage things. So to that extent, he became useful. So the merchant became very happy. And he took upon himself the responsibility of helping the education of this son of this poor primary school teacher. His son, he got first rank in Bachelor of Science. But they had no money to go and join for a master's degree. So this merchant, because he was so grateful, he said, I will help. See, more than a father. You must know he came to Bangalore, very far away, 400 miles away, unknown. He came to Bangalore, he was searching for everywhere, he was searching where to put this boy. Finally somebody told that person, look, here there is Ramakrishna Ashrama. You please, if you can get seat there, the boy will be safe and you can be peaceful. Then he came and he is pleading for that boy. Swamiji, please give him seat. Whatever the charges meant for him, I am prepared to pay easily. Of course, the boy was brilliant, excellent boy. We admitted him and we paid the amount from our poor boys fund for that education of the boy. And that merchant gave whatever the boy requires, some pocket expenses. Every month he would give some 40 to 50 rupees. Even father cannot send like that. Everything he did. But afterwards, just before the completion of master's degree, some idea came to his mind. He said he want to go away. He want to live the life of a monk, etc., etc. I was also there. Prabhuddhanji was also there. He was also superintendent. Both of us, we told that boy, look, it's very good. You have got the desire to become a monk. Very good. But you must know, finish this education first. Now you are in MS degree, master's degree. After all, in 6 months you have got examined. Finish that exam, then come. We want intelligent, brilliant people in our ashram. May God help you in every way. We are also very happy. We told like anything. But that boy did not hear at all. And that merchant came and told, look how much I have helped you. I came here, I procured a seat for you, and every month I am sending 50 rupees, all those things. Just before the completion of master's degree, you are not sitting for the exam and going away. He became very angry. But what's to be done? The boy left actually, he didn't go to exam. He left. Then he went to Delhi to join the mission, for Ramakrishna mission. So because he had BSc degree, there was no objection for them to take in. So they took him. He stayed there. Afterwards, I also, after my completion of training in Calcutta, I had gone to Delhi. I saw that boy. But then was he peaceful? He was not peaceful. He was worrying and worrying. He was telling, oh Swamiji, now I am sleeping here. My parents are very poor. They don't have food even for a day. For one morsel of food, they have to struggle very hard. And I feel I should do some service to the parents and I must finish my education. I did not complete master's degree. That is pricking me. Then I said, look, the other day how much we told, how much we advised you not to do that. You yourself came away at the improper time. The time was not propitious. Anyway, he left again. he left Delhi, he came back to Bangalore. Where will he go? Because he had not taken the exam, he was allowed to take the exam next time in Masters University. But he has to sit and study. Where to go? He came again to us. We were there at that time. Swamiji, please give me seat. We told, look, last time when we told so many times, you didn't agree. You didn't hear at all for our words. Now why should we keep you? You go wherever you want and go and live in whatever manner you want. Here if you want to live, you must obey and you must follow our instructions correctly, properly. Then he was appealing so many times, Swamiji, please give me one chance, like that he was talking. So then we thought of a plan, myself and Prabhupada, we thought of a plan. What plan? See, that boy, though he was brilliant, he had inferiority complex, terrible inferiority complex he had. So what we planned, we planned a strategy. We called that boy and said, look, very good, we are prepared to take you in our hostel, you be here, but on one condition. Whatever the boarding charges we are paying for you from the poor boys fund to you, you must repay them after education. On that condition, we take you. He agreed. So when we took him, putting that condition, afterwards he began to think, I am also like somebody else. I am not a poor student taking the benefit of the poor boys. I will repay. That kind of thinking entered into his mind, and he felt it is responsible to pass in the master's degree. Otherwise, it's a shame on him. Now the double responsibility is on him. One is to pass the master's degree, and next is to repay the amount. He worked very hard, and he passed successfully. He got first class in the master's degree because he's brilliant. Then afterwards, he got a very good job, lecturer in Shingeri College. He's a professor. Immediately afterwards, every month he would send the money and repaid the whole thing. Of course, that amount was taken to Poor Boys Fund so that we can help the other boy. So we had to make some methods like this, and we tried to help him so that he could complete his education, and again he should not run away giving some other reason. We somehow made a plan that way so that he can take on to studies. But we were not worried over that boy. But we took all steps to see that boy completes his education. That is the way of detachment. So the parents also must do that way. Do it nicely, take all strategy, everything. But at the same time, in your inner core, always pray to the Lord, pray for his well-being, that's all. So your attention should be on God. It's because of God you are loving your child. It should be taken that way. It is because of God husband is loving his wife. It is because of God wife is loving the husband. There is a famous Upanishad in Brihadaranyaka. If you have not read, you please read that whole passage. The whole chapter is wonderful. You must read with commentary. So beautiful it is. It is because of the element of love which is given to us by God we are carrying on all these activities. So forgetting God if you do, no meaning for that. With God you do, whatever you do is remarkably useful to you. That's how I feel. Anything else? Over. Alright, we shall conclude. Already 8:45. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quenched that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of his bliss, tasting his nectar at every step, bathing in his name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy. How huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord, O Lord and soul of the universe. Mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue. The playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for Thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is Thy servant, O sweet one. In Thy mercy consider him as dust beneath Thy feet. Ah, how I long for the day when an instant's separation from Thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without Thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at Thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of Thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of Thy presence. Though it tears my soul asunder, O Thou who stealest the hearts of Thy devotees, do with me what Thou wilt, for Thou art my heart's beloved, Thou and Thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease. May all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good. May the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time. May the earth be blessed with crops. May all countries be freed from calamity. May holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For He being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.